Superchargers, headlights, and more. With over 122 million parts, eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Stay on your A game with all the parts you need at the prices you want. It's easy to bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. See ebaymotors.com.
Yo, what's happening? Houston, this is the place to be, and I am DMC in the place to be with my man Brad Gilmore and the one and only, the champ, the man Booker T. So let's get it popping.
Live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. Join the six-time World Heavyweight Champion, two-time WWE Hall of Famer, and WWE NXT announcer, Booker T. Booker T. Alongside his right-hand man, the BOAT, Brad Gilmore. It's time to get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Boom, welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, six-time world champ, two-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. As always, coming to you from ESPN 975-925, as well as podcast heat. We getting ready to do this thing. I'm tired. Okay? I ain't gonna even lie. I'm tired, man. I just got back home this morning, NXT action, and it was action-packed. And then as soon as I hit the ground, man, I had to get packing, man. Right now I'm packing. Been packing all day, playing Mr. Mom, getting dinner ready for the kids. Got to get the show done. Had to even cook up the hamburger meat for Rover because he hadn't even eaten all day because he hadn't had the hamburger meat to go with it. You know what I mean? So I got to set him up for the weekend. Man, WrestleMania weekend, bro, a week actually. It's a job. It's not an adventure. It's a job. I'm serious. But I'm ready to get it done. Because I get ready to head to Philly in the morning and get started with WrestleMania. How you feel, man?
I'm excited. You know what? I'm excited for WrestleMania, obviously. How could you not be excited for WrestleMania? But I got to tell you, man, I was more excited until I spoke to you earlier today because you let me in on a little bit of insider information that made me less excited for WrestleMania. You know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about?
It's going to be cold.
It's going to be cold, man. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah.
We were in Vegas last weekend, and Vegas was cold. You know what I mean? It was rainy and cold, which I'd never experienced before in Las Vegas. And now I got to go to Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, which I've never been to before, the city of brotherly love, the city of Rocky Balboa. And it's going to be cold and rainy?
Yeah, man. It's going to be, you better have your thermal underwear. I got mine. I'm going to tell you right now. I got mine. Just in case they throw some extra duties on me and throw me outside for a couple hours. You got to be prepared, man.
Yeah.
Preparation is the only luck in this situation. So, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the Hall of Fame, actually getting that done. That's normally the highlight for me. For WrestleMania, it's the Hall of Fame. For me, Thunderbolt Patterson, like I say, a guy that paved the way for me, a guy that had to, eat so much crap, just to, get his face out there, just to be seen. And he was one of the, more talented guys on the roster, So for me to see Thunderbolt go in as well as Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time, I'm gonna be pretty excited about the Hall of Fame. Hey, are you aware of how exposed your personal information is online? Hi, I'm Booker T alongside Brad Gilmore, and we've delved into the digital realm to discover just how much our privacy data is out there for the taking. You'd be surprised or maybe even alarmed at what we found. We did a simple Google search of our name and email addresses, and the results were eye-opening. Our personal information from full name to home addresses and even health records was all laid to bear. It's unsettling to think that this information can be sold to data brokers, making us a target for scammers and spammers.
And Book, that's where Aura comes in, a service we've both been using and genuinely endorse. Aura scans these data brokers and reveals who's selling your information, then helps you opt out automatically. When I checked my Aura account, I was shocked to see the number of brokers that had my details on file. But it's not just about reducing spam. This is about safeguarding our digital lives. Hackers can exploit this information to breach our social media, bank accounts, and more. Aura's comprehensive protection, which includes antivirus, VPN, password management, and even identity theft insurance, offers a robust shield against these intrusions.
Think of it this way. You wouldn't secure just the front door of your home and leave the back door wide open, right? That's why relying on a piecemeal solution isn't enough. Aura provides an all-encompassing security suite that's always on, ensuring my peace of mind.
We're not just talking about protection, we're talking about convenience. All of these features come in one package, easy to set up without the hassle of juggling multiple apps.
So, if you value your privacy as much as we do, consider giving Aura a try. Guys, visit aura.com/Booker T to start your 2-week free trial. It's time to take control of your online presence and secure your digital world.
Hell yeah, how could you not be with names like that and just what we're going to see? So SmackDown, Hall of Fame, Stand and Deliver, WrestleMania Saturday, Slammies, WrestleMania Sunday. There's so much going on in these next couple of days, and I'm looking forward to being there. Philadelphia. Now, you told me there's a spot that we get the cheesesteaks. Is that true? There's a certain place you go. Is that where you go? Do you have a spot?
It's a little place right across the street from the I think it's 2300 Arena.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a place right across the street, small little place. But they got a mean cheesesteak, man. If they're still there. I know the last time I went, they were still there. It's a famous spot. They got to be still there. But it's right across the street.
I want to know if people in Philadelphia really use the term John. You know, they say my new John, this John, I like that John. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
You've never heard John before?
I've heard John before.
Yeah.
Not in that term.
Like JAWN, I think is how you say it.
Okay.
John, right? Somebody knows what I'm talking about.
What does it mean?
I think it means like a thing, like my new John, like this is my new spot, my new girl, my new car.
Like Shucky Ducky Quack Quack.
It's like Shucky Ducky Quack Quack. It can mean whatever. Have you ever seen the movie Donnie Brasco?
Yeah.
Okay, you remember in Donnie Brasco, Johnny Depp is an undercover cop in the mob, right? And I remember a scene where they asked Johnny Depp, his character, Donnie Brasco, what does forget about it mean? He goes, forget about it can mean like go F yourself. Forget about it could mean you're crazy. Or sometimes it could just mean forget about it.
Forget about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Loso Dolo knows what I'm talking about, though. Where the John's at. Let me get that John. It's a Philly thing.
Yeah. All right. Don't get caught in the hood using the word John. You might get jacked.
If this John says John, I might get jacked. That's what you're saying.
Watch yourself, especially in Philly, man. Watch yourself. And they say that on certain parts of town, and they might not say it in the other parts. So
Yes.
So be careful when you go out there just throwing up, slang. All right.
Yeah.
Trying to feel like you in the, you part of the city.
You know what I mean? So yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited. And I'm excited to get there and do everything. Now, here's the other thing, Book. There's a lot going on. We have to break down the WrestleMania card, at least talk about it. I'm asking all the Hall of Famers today to super chat in your predictions for WrestleMania. Predominantly, who's going to win in main event of night 1 with The Rock and Roman versus Cody and Seth? Who wins all the world title matches? So Becky, Io, Becky and Rhea, and then of course Seth and Drew and Cody and Roman. I want to know all the predictions. So super chat them in, and you could tell me how you think it's going to go down. We got to talk about that, and we got to talk about the man that everybody's talking about. They can't stop talking about him, Book. CM Punk. You know what's going on with CM Punk right now.
No. What's going on with CM Punk?
I know you've been traveling. You've been on the road.
I mean, what's going on? What's going on with CM Punk?
CM Punk did an interview on the MMA Hour, with Ariel Helwani.
And what was he talking about?
Well, he talked for an hour and 50 minutes, almost 2 hours.
Wow.
And he talked about everything. He talked about WrestleMania. That was.
Did he mention me?
You know what? You didn't come up. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know you would have loved it. But you did not come up on that show. But a lot came up.
I was just wondering.
A whole lot came up on the show.
Like what?
We talked a lot about AEW. He talked a lot about Tony Khan, the Young Bucks, Jack Perry, and the inner workings of the company. Talked a lot about the press conference, the scrum, the infamous scrum that he had, and a lot more. But here's the thing. I want to get to CM Punk. I want to get to WrestleMania, but we also need to first start with two big things from Reality of Wrestling. Tell them what's going on April 13th, BT.
Oh, man, same old. Reality Wrestling is going down. Pay up. Matt Cardona is going to be making his first appearance at Reality of Wrestling. Like I said, it's already sold out. We just put out 75 more chairs. Once they sell out, it's going to be standing room only. So, guys, make sure you go to the website, go to realitywrestling.com. Do it now. Do it for you because it's going to be off the chains, man. It's going to be off the chains.
Yeah, Matt Cardona going to be here, the man who just went up against the Rated R superstar Adam Copeland on Collision for the TNT Championship. And also, April the 20th, the Row Games are emanating live from the first round is at the World Gym, correct, in Texas City, Texas. And two people are going to walk away with $5,000. After the Row Games. So that's going on as well.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be an awesome deal for Reality of Wrestling. It's going to be awesome for, the people in the city of Houston as well as surrounding areas. Got people coming in from out of town and all over to be a part of the Row Games. The search for the ultimate athlete. Push yourself, test yourself. One of those things to where you don't want to look back one day, 50 years old, beer belly, saying, man, I was in shape back then. I should have did it. I should have went for it. Don't do that, man. Go for it. Go to Reality of Wrestling right now and sign up to be a part of the Row Games. Like I just said, do it now and do it quick.
Yeah. So you still have some time to get in there and be a part of the Row Games. You know what I mean? I've been clanging and banging and hanging in the zone, Book. You know what I mean? And I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about signing up, testing myself. You know what I mean?
Not a dream. It's not a dream. All right, it's reality. I just want you to know that.
Look, man. Look, I'm 6'1", 177 pounds of romping, stomping, grave digging destruction, Jack. All right.
Look, if you want to do it, man, just say you want to do it. You ain't got to talk around it.
I'm not talking around it. I'm telling you right now that I'm.
All you got to do is sign up. All you got to do is just go to Reality Wrestling right now and sign up. It's a questionnaire and everything. All you got to do is sign up and boom, you in.
Look, I'm telling you right now, Book, on the Hall of Fame, with all thousands of people watching, I'm really thinking about it. I'm thinking hard. You know what I mean? I'm doing my thinking exercises, my thinking push-ups, my thinking crunches.
How cold it's going to be in Philly, too. That don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing, but you're going to bring a coat. That's it. We got to take a break, man. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Dig it, sucker!
And this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, let's talk about it. Let's talk about sex. Hey, you remember when you was always ready to go? I'm talking about strapping the rocket on it, man. Going straight to the moon. I'm talking about getting it done. If you want that extra confidence, I got something for you. Listen up. BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but in a chewable tablet at the fraction of the cost.
But the great thing, Book, is you can take it any time, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
The best part, guys, it's all done online on the internet. So there's no doctor's visit, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at a pharmacy or any of that.
And the thing is, Book, Blue Chew's tablets, they're made right here in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package, so no one is the wiser.
You know, let's just get it out there, guys. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. It's like this. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com and use promo code and receive your first month absolutely free, man. Visit BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, you know, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it. Oh, welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. Of course, there's news out there. Of course, everybody, heard about the CM Punk interview with Ariel One. I was just messing with you. I heard about it. I just want to, mess with you a little bit. But yeah, CM Punk definitely dropped it like it was hot. And I don't know. Is that what we should start? I mean,
look, it is a big topic. CM Punk went on the Ariel Helwani's show, the MMA Hour, and shared a lot. I mean, there was a lot there. He talked about the incident with Jack. He asked being let go multiple times. He asked Tony Khan if he could get let go. I mean, I don't know. What have you seen any of the clips from the show, from the interview?
I've seen a little bit of it, and I've read a little bit about it.
To me, some of the things that were, I will tell you this. I've watched a lot of interviews over the years of not just in wrestling, just in general. I love listening to people have a conversation. And sometimes you'll have a certain feeling about somebody going into an interview, and then you hear about them and you hear what they think and what happened and their perspective, and you shift a little bit in your mind. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. I used to think Kim Kardashian was like, whatever. She's some, internet famous. She had the tape that made her famous. It's a reality star. Who cares, right? And then I saw her get interviewed by David Letterman on Netflix. And I'm like, wow, this woman's smart. She's got a business mind. She's helping people get out of prison who, are there for drug offenses for a long time. I had a lot of respect for her after watching the interviews, what I'm trying to say. And my opinion on her shifted greatly after that one interview. With CM Punk, Lord knows I've had things to say about him on this very program, especially during the AEW run. And while I'm not going to take back a lot of the things that I said, because I stand by the majority of them, I will say I look at him differently today than I looked at him prior to this interview. I have a lot more understanding and perspective of what happened to him while at AEW. I understand his frustration more. And a lot of his comments in that press scrum, although I don't think he should have handled his business that way, this is just me talking. I understand why he felt the way he did and why he felt like he just reached a boiling point and had to say something. He had a lot of things to say about Tony Khan and his managerial tactics or lack thereof, and about the elite and so forth. So that's what I wanted to say first. I was really surprised by not surprised, but my perspective changed by a lot of what I heard in that interview.
Well, I mean, my perspective didn't change any. I mean, I felt the same way about CM Punk pretty much throughout. Like I say, everything that's taken, in this show, a lot of times is taken out of context. as far as constructive criticisms go. For me, anyway, talking about CM Punk, it seems like if I say anything about CM Punk, somebody want to try to make it negative, and most of the time it's just constructive criticisms. I talked about CM Punk coming into AEW and dealing with a bunch of young guys that feel a certain way, you know what I mean? And I talked about how CM Punk would have to go down to their level in order to bring them up to his level. Did that happen? I don't know. But I do know, it was very, very turbulent, for CM Punk, throughout his run at AEW, which it seems like normally when you making a lot of money, that cures mostly anything. You know what I mean? That normally makes everything all right. But even making a boatload of money over there, the situation just wasn't right enough to where, he could stay. He had to get up out of there. Some of the comments as far as it's not a business. Tony Khan's not a boss. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I don't know
That's
if
what he said.
Okay.
He said he's not a boss. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah, okay.
At one point in the interview, he referred to him as a clown.
Well,
that's his assessment.
I ain't gonna go there. But a lot of that stuff is stuff that I've said. I've said it, many, many times. It's just like, me with reality wrestling. I love all the guys that come and perform and work for me, but I can't really get close to the guys. I can't become, like friends and buddies with the guys because, I may have to fire them. I may have to tell them, hey, we're not going to be booking you anymore. The work may not be up to par or something, and I might say, hey, man, I might have to, say it in a certain way, and when you do that, you can't be friends with a lot of these guys, and I feel like that's one of Tony Khan's biggest mistakes is just being too friendly, with the talent. Not that you can't be friendly with the talent, but being friends with the talent, it can become a problem. It's just my opinion. And I say that because of being in WCW and watching how the NWO and Eric Bischoff, and all those guys, they became like buddies. And me personally, and I sitting there watching it, I was like, man, this is not something that's, seem like should be right for a company that's trying to grow. And that was just me. And then when I got to WWE, I saw how my boss, worked. You know what I mean? It was always business. So.
Well, on the business side, because these are some of the big headlines, and we won't spend too much on this topic, but I do want to run a couple of these things by you. This is what he said about the elite and the way AEW does business. In a conversation he had with Tony Khan, he's told Tony Khan, I think after the whole incident at All Out, where the press conference happened and whatever happened afterward happened, he told Tony Khan, these guys don't want me here, referring to the elite. This isn't a real business. This isn't a business predicated on making money, drawing money, selling tickets. It's not what it was sold to me as. So let me go. And Tony Khan apparently replied and said, oh, I can't let you go because I'm going to do a new show. And then when he was asked if AEW isn't a business to draw money or sell tickets, what is it? He says, I don't know. I think just having good matches, maybe. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, he said. And then when he was asked, what does he think of the way Tony Khan runs the company? This is what his exact quote was. Man, that's a loaded question because I don't want this to be, I don't know. I don't like drama, but the truth is the truth. He's not a boss. He's a nice guy. And I think ultimately that is a detriment to the company, but it's not my company. And then after the incident at All In London, he said he turned to Tony and he said, this place is an effing joke, man. You're a clown. I quit. Pretty pointed assessment of AEW and Tony Khan. Let me ask you this. Do you think that you can't be a nice guy and be a boss? Or can you be nice and be a boss?
No, you can be a nice guy. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying you can't be, it's just like, say, for instance, I'm not going to be calling, the boss, over the weekend and saying, hey, man, what's going on? What's going on? How's the fam? You know what I mean? Everything's good. You know, you watching any good movies lately? You know, so I'm serious. You know what I mean? For me, if any one of my guys call me, it better be business related. Seriously, it better not be. I get birthday wishes and stuff like that. Texas, you know, I mean, so that kind of stuff is cool. You know, but to say, hey man, let's go to Top Golf and hang out. You know, I'm not going to do that with guys that work for me, because I think it can become a conflict of interest. I remember seeing Brian Gewirtz sitting at a restaurant one time with Chris Jericho, and I said, "Man, I don't know about this dude." You know what I mean? No, I'm serious. You know, because he was sitting with the talent. And the talent sometimes can, you know, manipulate you to work for them and make sure you get them in certain programs and put them in certain positions. And when you see something like that, you know, hair on the back of your neck goes up. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just like when I used to see, I mean, not saying anything happened or anything like that, but when I used to see Dixie Carter in the bar hanging out with the boys, I just did not think that was appropriate from a business aspect, because there again, it's getting way too friendly, especially when there's some alcohol involved. You know what I mean? When alcohol involved, it's a party, everybody's feeling good, everybody feel like we're on the same level, you know, and the boss can never really put himself on the same level as everybody else. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong, but you go talk to Elon Musk and see how he feel about the boss's position. And if the guys at Tesla's calling him and, you know, wanting to go out to dinner, you know, I'm serious.
Well, yeah, I'm sure Elon would have a very opinionated answer, I'm sure. But we got to take a break, according to my clock here. But when we come back, I have a couple follow-ups for you.
Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Hey, are you ready to elevate your game and your style? Hey, this is Booker T, and together with Brad Gilmore, we're here to introduce you to something exceptional from PXG, their line of new golf apparels. Now, you already know PXG's reputation for creating some of the most high-quality, high-performance golf clubs out there. Now they've taken the same dedication to excellence and applied it to their latest apparel line. And let me tell you, they absolutely nailed it.
I've had the pleasure of wearing PXG's apparel out on the course, and I'm genuinely impressed. The quality, top-notch. The style, unmatched. The fit, like it was tailored just for me. These pieces aren't just designed for performance on the greens. They're crafted to make you look and feel your best, whether you're sealing deals in the office or enjoying a night out on the town.
And from the sleek polos to the comfortable but yet stylish pants, from the versatile quarter zips to the cozy sweaters, every item invites you guys to play all day long.
That's right, BT. PXG has something for everyone. We're talking about pants, polos, sweaters, hats, quarter zips, joggers, jackets, skirts, everything you could possibly want. You know, Book, we got some PXG gear in the mail, and I gotta tell you, I love the PXG hat. It fits just right, and that silky smooth PXG polo they sent got me feeling right out on the course. I feel like I get a couple extra yards out of my drive, and it also works real well in an office setting. I don't feel out of place, but I feel as comfortable as possible. So you tell them, BT, how can they get this PXG gear like we got?
Now, here's your chance to experience the PXG difference. Don't just play the game, elevate it. Visit pxg.com/BookerT. Use the code, man, BookerT, and step your game up on and off the course.
Again, elevate your style game on and off the course with PXG Spring Summer 2024 collection. Head over to pxg.com/BookerT and use the code BookerT to save 10% on all apparel.
PXG, nobody makes golf's apparel quite like it. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Just talking a little CM Punk interview with Ariel Helwani. Everybody's talking about it. It's kind of like one of these Cat Williams things. About to go viral, man.
It's going viral.
Yeah. What else you got, man? What else you got?
Well, I wanted to ask more about what he was saying about he made a particular comment, and again, I know it's hard for you in some respect to say things, even if they are constructive about AEW, without people thinking you're anti AEW. Because I do want to say, you and I both know people over there who are employed over there, who have great jobs over there. Obviously, AEW, we want it to thrive. I hope I'm not overstepping by making that assumption for you. But more wrestling is great for everybody, right? I mean, more jobs and opportunity. Would you say that's correct?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Most definitely.
So let me ask you this then, because Punk made a comment, and I was trying to find the exact quote, but I'll paraphrase it. He said, "It's not good when you're for business when you're more focused on some goof giving you a 5-star rating than when your buildings are only a quarter sold." Essentially what he was saying. Kind of boiling it down to, you're not as concerned with selling tickets and selling out arenas as you are with 5-star quality matches. Now, the two don't have to be mutually exclusive. You can have 5-star matches and also sell out a building. But I think that what Punk was making the assessment of there was powers that be seem to be more concerned with internet praise, and especially praise from certain journalists, quote unquote, than they do about crafting compelling angles to sell out buildings.
Powers that be being Tony Khan.
That's the assumption that I took away from it. Yes.
Okay. Honestly, I mean, I could be 100% wrong. But it doesn't seem like Tony Khan is trying to make any money. Doesn't seem like he's in the business to try to make money. Tony Khan's a guy that's got boatloads of money. Okay, and I think making money for him, I think it would be okay. But I think Tony Khan is more so in tune to wanting to live out that childhood dream that he perhaps, always, wanted, as far as having, just like, say, for instance, I'm sure Tony Khan was a fan of wrestling when he was a kid, a big time, and I'm sure he had the ring set, with the wrestlers, and this was jumping off the top. And then, can you imagine, being a guy with so much money, you could actually do that with real human beings, with real guys, and create the stories. And it's almost like Tony Khan is actually living out a childhood dream, opposed to trying to make any money. And the reason I say that, just say, for instance, I know a list just went out of guys that got let go from AEW. And
I'm gonna bring that up.
And only guy I knew on that list was Parker Boudreaux, and he was from WWE, because they were thinking that this guy was going to be the next Brock Lesnar. That's the only reason I remember him. And he still had the same name, Parker Boudreaux. It's probably the only reason I noticed that.
Right.
But all of those guys that got let go, I didn't know any of them. Not one of them. Gravity. I didn't know any of those guys. So, but somebody knew him. Tony Khan knew him. And for Tony Khan to be that far off into that independent wrestling world, that Japanese wrestling world, he's doing it for more than to just make money. Now, I could be wrong, but do that sound plausible?
Yeah, it does. I mean, when you have a lot of money at your disposal, and perhaps you have here's my feeling: if you own, or your family owns, a football team and a soccer team, you probably got some ducats. I mean, those are money-making enterprises. Go ahead.
Look at it this way: the Live Golf Tour.
Yeah.
You think they're making any money?
No.
Exactly my point. They were willing to pay Tiger Woods $800 million to come over. $800 million. I mean, you think they, hurting for money?
Yeah.
And I feel the same thing is happening with AEW and Tony Khan. I don't think it's about making money. At least not at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Well, I mean, I know Liv is backed by Saudi, and Saudi has a lot of money, as we know. But with Tony, the family's got money. Now, here's the thing. We could all have egg on our face because I know AEW media rights deal is coming up soon. And when we see what their media rights are, if they could potentially start looking toward turning a profit if that media rights number is big enough. We saw WWE. Now, I'm not comparing the two, but Raw got a $5 billion deal over 10 years. Now, I don't expect AEW to come close to anything like that. However, that could be a saving grace because we do know the only things that are generating ratings on television at all anymore is live news and sports. That's it. And so AEW is in a good position to make some money off of their deal. Now, we'll have to see what that is. For the time being, it does seem like it's a sandbox, and he's playing with his favorite sandbox, favorites in his sandbox, and not so much concerned with turning a profit because I will be honest, and I don't like coming across as negative by any means, but when you see they go to Canada, which is like wrestling country, maybe even more than the United States. Canada is like, they love hockey and pro wrestling. And when it's very empty, the buildings are, and you're renting these arenas and not selling half of them, right? Out. It's concerning to see. And it makes you think, like, what's going on here in the promotion? Because that's what the term comes from. A promotion's to promote shows to sell them out, right? Like, we talk about that all the time. And a promo is to talk people into the building. It's promoting the match. A promotion promotes matches. And if you're not promoting things that are making money, it is concerning. So I understand what CM Punk was saying there. Now, did you have something you wanted to add to that?
No, go ahead.
Because here's the other thing that I thought of. When I was listening to his interview, it did seem to me like a lot of the points that he was making are things that you have said on the show, we have discussed on the show, almost word for word at certain moments. Now, maybe there was nothing said more accurate than the quote I'm about to read, because we haven't talked about this, but I think you'll get a kick out of it. So CM Punk was asked, because TKO is now WWE and UFC, right? Ariel Helwani, kind of asked him about his UFC career. And this is what CM Punk said. He said, I asked my wife the other day because I said something. I was just like, what was I, 35 when I fought? Punk said. And then she was just like, oh no, you were 36 or 37. And I went, what the F was I thinking?
That sounds like something that I said.
Yeah. So I think he was probably like, what was I? Because, 36 to start anything, is pretty crazy. Especially something in athletics. Because right now,
you know what? I'm glad he co-signed because that's something that I said from the beginning. I said, you don't just wake up one day and just say I'm gonna be a UFC fighter. When you've never done that in your life, you think you're gonna go and take food off somebody's table that's been training to do that since they was, a kid. You know what I mean? And you just wake up one day thinking you're gonna go. It's just not the way it happens. But I give CM Punk big props for even thinking that he could do something like that. Was it a wise decision? Not at all. Do I think the UFC might have exploited the situation a little bit? Of course they did. We got CM Punk and he want to get in the ring and fight somebody. Let's put him in the ring and fight somebody. That's business more than anything. CM Punk made a nice grip off of it at the same time. So he didn't walk out of that thing, penniless. He didn't walk out, with the, the raw end of the stick or anything like that. I think the fight didn't last very long. Okay. And he got paid pretty damn good for it. He didn't get beat up enough to where he really felt it that much the next day. Honestly, it was only a minute and 30 seconds, something like that.
The first one, I think, was a little over that. I think it was like 2 minutes, 5 seconds or something around that.
Yeah. And then the fight with,
Mike
the
Jackson.
second one, Mike Jackson, that one, he might have had some lumps and bruises from it, but it wasn't enough lumps and bruises where you couldn't feel pretty good about that check that you just got as well. And I don't know what he got on the back end and whatnot. That, I'm not privy to that information or anything like that. But I give CM Punk props for going in there. Like I said, but was it a wise decision? Not at all.
No, and but you know what? In the same respect, he had the gumption to go out there and get it and do it. He lost his fights, but he did it, right? I mean, that's something that
it's more than what I ever did.
Right.
I mean, I never jumped in a cage. I never tried to fight anybody. From a professional standpoint. So I give him credit for it. But there again, just like I said, when CM Punk was getting ready to embark on that journey, I was like, man, I don't think this is a wise decision. And it turned out to be not a wise decision. So I'm glad to see him back, where he belongs. Back home. We got to take a break. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. Back in a minute. Hey, folks, this is Booker T bringing you this episode with a message that's close to our heart, courtesy of Manscaped.
That's right, Booker. It's crucial to highlight that every hour of the day, a man is diagnosed with testicular cancer. This disease is the most common cancer among men 15 to 35. And since April is National Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, Manscaped is teaming up with the Testicular Cancer Society to boost awareness about men's health and the importance of early cancer detection.
Absolutely, Brad. For more information on how to perform early detection checks at home, head over to manscaped.com/TCS. And remember, using the promo code Booker gets you 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com.
Booker, men's health and cancer prevention are subjects we should all take seriously, and it's something that hits close to home for many of us.
Right you are, Brad, and Manscaped offers a way to stay on top of your health with products like the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, perfect for those routine self-checks.
The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra isn't just any trimmer. It comes with 2 skin-safe blade heads, one for a trim and another foil blade for a close shave. Plus, its dual LED spotlights means that no spot gets missed.
And it's waterproof, so whether you're in the shower or in the ocean, you can keep things tidy without any fuss. Plus, its wireless charging and travel lock features make perfect on-the-go grooming.
Folks, Manscaped is not just about grooming. They're committed to making a difference by donating $50,000 to Testicular Cancer Society.
So let's support the cause together. Visit manscaped.com/TCS to check out their informative and entertaining Check Yourself video. And don't forget, use the code Booker for 20% off and free shipping. And like the saying goes, take care of your mentals, your balls, and your chickens.
Join us in making a difference with Manscaped. Your support can help save lives and, well, it can also help save your balls.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. I was just checking out some photos of guys arriving in Philadelphia, and I'm gonna tell you right now, bro, it looks gloomy, it looks cold, and I'm gonna tell you, bro, you better be ready. You better be ready. It's gonna be a long day for you, bro.
What about you?
I'm good. I'm gonna be inside. All my work is done inside this time. I'm good.
Hey man, I'll be inside too. I'll be checking out SmackDown, the Hall of Fame, Stand and Deliver. It's a lot of wrestling. SmackDown, Stand and Deliver before WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2. So it's gonna be a lot to do, but I'm looking forward to it.
Gonna be a monster, baby.
This came in. We have a super chat here. We have a couple, but I want to get to this one first because it was about the subject that we were just talking about. We're talking about CM Punk and his comments on AEW and his own UFC career, which, by the way, one thing I wanted to point out with the UFC career, he was 37 before his first fight, I believe, almost 38 going into the fight with Mike Jackson. Like, those are the numbers, like that age is what we're talking about with LeBron right now and saying he's old and he's about to hang it up, right? And think about the elite athlete that LeBron James is at his craft. You can make the argument he's the greatest basketball player of all time. I wouldn't make that argument, but you can make that argument. So if you're slowing down at 37, 38 as LeBron is, I don't think LeBron's going to just jump over to the UFC now. You know what I mean? It's just a hard age is my point.
Not just that. The bump card.
The bump card.
from all the years of professional wrestling. I mean, that's not something, I think the wrestling business, man, is one of the hardest jobs anybody ever could imagine doing, especially back in the day, you know what I mean? Of course, it's gotten a little bit easier, but, anybody think, just like, say, for instance, just this one weekend, this one week, WrestleMania week. Anybody think that's something that the normal person can go through? They're out of their mind. They're totally disconnected to what the wrestling business is all about. Just to give you an example, when I was running hard, WrestleMania was you get in the limo, you go to a spot, you're so tired just because you've been working and working and working. This before the show, this before the wrestling happens. You get in the limo, you go. You the red light's on, you perk up, you get the job done, and then as soon as you finish, your adrenaline is going down, you get back in the limo, you got to go to another spot. You fall asleep on that ride. You get there, boom, you wake up again and get the job done. Everybody's smiling, everybody's happy, and then you get back in the limo and you go right back to sleep, and then you go to the next spot. It's a grind, man. It's a grind, and the thing is, a lot of people don't understand. Wrestlers, they're not on all the time. They have to turn it on. And I tell you, it's not easy at all. And then you have to get in the ring and perform at your highest level. Okay. In Cody's situation and Roman's situation, they got to do it 2 nights back to back. Okay. And then Monday Night Raw is right back upon us. The cycle starts right over. The 365 days run to WrestleMania starts immediately. Guys, man, it's the hardest thing in the world. So I get it. And CM Punk had a hell of a lot of wear and tear on the body before he ever went to the UFC.
Yeah. I mean, a lot.
At 37 years old.
Yes. I mean, that's a lot of work, man. Like, I mean, I can't even tell you, like, just how much bumps were on the bump card, and then you have to go through training camp, stuff like that. So anyway, but this is what Luis Me wanted to say regarding CM Punk's comments about AEW, but let's just see what this says here. This is from Luis.
Super chat.
AEW is becoming more the WCW of today. Tony needs to change his attitude towards talent and just focus on his brand. I think he's definitely focused on the brand. And his attitude to talent, well, I mean, I don't know what that means. His attitude, like what? Like, don't look him at as friends, I guess is what he's maybe saying. Is that what you would guess?
That's one thing. That would be one thing I would imagine.
Yeah. But it's funny that they mentioned the WCW thing, because you and I were just talking about this on the radio show in Vegas when we were talking about something that Tony Khan actually said. Like, you can't hire everybody that you like just because you like them. You can't do this because that's how bring in a bunch of big names, because that's how WCW started to go under. And then, it's kind of like, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, because it seems somewhat like what was happening for a moment with Tony, where you are bringing in everybody. You are signing everyone. Now, they just did, I believe this was their first official ever slate of releases that they did, which was 12, I think, people got released or something around a dozen or more at one point, at one time. So I think he's trying to free up some of the budget and realizing I can't just have these guys under contract doing nothing and paying them. But what do you think? Do you have any more comments to this?
Well, think about this for a second.
Okay.
You got that list?
Yeah, give me a second. I'll pull it right up. But
that's what I want to talk about for a second. The list and Tony Khan's business practices.
Here are the people who got released: Slim J, Parker Boudreaux, Stu Grayson, Gravity, Anthony Henry, George Joel. Yeah. Jose the assistant.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Dasha. and
Dasha Fuentes. I remember her. She was with WWE for a minute.
she was. And the boys.
Yeah.
The boys.
Yeah, the boys. Who's the boys?
I'm not really sure, to be honest with you.
Okay. That's exactly my point. Now,
But I hate
Tony
that all
Khan
of these guys lost a job, obviously.
Look, they're going to be able to find, work out there on the Indies. No, but my thing is, all these guys that got let go, we've heard about Tony Khan's practices. He's not going to fire anybody. He's going to let their contract run out and then, go ahead and release them. That's probably what happened here. But all of those names that you just mentioned, I don't remember any of those guys having any TV time on Dynamite or Collision or any other. And then again, I'm not an avid watcher of the show or anything like that. True. But when you're a star, no. When you're a star, I've said it once, I said 1,000 times. When you're a star, your name get there way before you do. Mm-hmm. We'll hear about you. Somebody, there's going to be some rumblings, about, Dan, have you heard? It's going to be one of those type of things. And for that whole list, not disrespecting any of those guys or anything like that, I didn't know any of them. And I hadn't seen any of them. And that's what Tony Khan, one of his biggest problems is there again, I may not have known him. You may not have known him, but Tony Khan did. That's a problem. That's a big problem. That's a damn big problem, man. And I'm just saying that because like CM Punk was talking about in the interviews as far as business model, making money, WCW having guys on the roster, just pay them just to be there. It's a bad business model, stuff like that. Is AEW becoming the new WCW? I really don't think so. I mean, they don't have as many older guys over there in AEW as WCW had. But the older guys in AEW, other guys that people know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're the name guys. They're the stars.
I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get that. I definitely get that. And it's I don't think that they're trending to the WCW, the end of WCW, not the peak years. I don't think they're trending toward how WCW started to become toward the end, like you've talked about on the show before. But I definitely think that clearing house a little bit, reassessing is never a bad thing. Taking the criticism as it's laid out is not a bad thing. Cody Rhodes ended up being on the same show today, I believe, with Ariel Helwani, and was asked what he thought about CM Punk's assessment. And this is what he said. He said, "It's not my assessment. That's his assessment. In my time there, the infrastructure was just building up. We were trying new things and doing things. It was a startup company, a big startup company, but a startup company. I wish them nothing but the best," referring to Punk and his issues with the Elite. He said, "I just think what happened there was a ton of misunderstanding and a ton of miscommunication. I love Matt, Nick, Kenny, and I love CM Punk. I don't know how, but I do." That was Cody Rhodes' assessment of everything. Because we do forget, it is a new company, and obviously they're going to screw up a bunch. Lord knows, anybody has. I think, though, when you're at that level, though, you have to make sure mistakes that are made are kept to a minimum, because you're on television. You're on live television every month. You're spending millions of dollars. It's a tightrope act that you're doing. And so, yes, you can make mistakes, but if you slip too much, you're falling off that tightrope, and you better hope there's a net there to catch you.
Man, they got a golden parachute over there, man. What do you think about that? Hey, man, we got to take a break, man. We got to take a break. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Hey, y'all, Booker T here alongside with my main man, Brad Gilmore. And today we're talking about something that could really change the game when it comes to how you get paid.
That's right, Booker, because let's face it, life doesn't just happen every 2 weeks. So why wait for a payday? With EarnIn, the money you've earned already can be in your hands today.
EarnIn is this incredible app that lets you access your pay as you earn it. We're talking about up to $100 per day and up to $750 each pay period.
All you got to do is download the EarnIn app, verify your paycheck, and boom, you can access up to $100 a day as you work. And the cool part, you just leave an optional tip, and any money you access plus the tip gets repaid when your next paycheck rolls in.
You know, Brad, I'm always talking about staying ready so you don't have to get ready, right? Imagine having that extra cash for that surprise date night, or maybe when you have to take the furry little friend to the vet unexpectedly. You know.
Absolutely, Booker. Or even those times when you need to grab a last-minute gift, or maybe you're a little short on rent, or hey, even you might want to pick up some new gear for yourself or your kids or your lady.
Folks, make EarnIn part of your financial playbook. Join over 3.5 million customers who are finding financial stability and peace of mind thanks to EarnIn.
So don't wait around for a payday. Get your money when you need it and take control of your finances. Download EarnIn today and experience what it's like to access pay on your terms.
Get started with EarnIn now and join the millions who are getting their pay their way. It's time to earn in, not just earn. Check it out, man. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. No, you guys was missing me there. We took you on a little extra ride there for a second. Hey, man, I'm busy, man. I'm getting ready for WrestleMania. Getting ready to head out of here early in the morning. I'm on a 7:20 flight, man.
Damn.
On my way to Philly. Let me tell you, it's gonna be cold when I get to Philly, man. But I'm ready. Like I said, I got my thermal underwear. I'm ready to go. I got the big coat. I got one of those big, nice pea coats too. You know that's got the high collar and all that right there. It's got the double breast, whatnot. So you got 2 zippers on it. So I'm gonna be nice and warm when I hit Philly. So I'm good, man. Like I said, you better be ready, man. You better be nice and bundled up. Get that stuff for your nose because you don't want your nose to freeze or anything like that. The little white stuff. So make sure you're good, man. Make sure you're good.
Well, yeah, okay. I'll take that under advisement.
No, man.
I've been in cold weather before. Why you act like I'm some backwoods Texas redneck?
I just got a message to over the next 5 days. High temps 55, lows 39 to 40. All right. The cheesesteaks place is called Tony Luke's. Okay,
sweet.
So if you want to get your nice cheesesteak, it's called Tony Luke's. Big shout out to my girl Kathy Fitzpatrick. She's listening to the show right now. So,
what up, Kathy?
Yeah, big ups. Can't wait to see you, sis. Can't wait to see you.
Kathy lives there in Philly?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, okay, sweet. Awesome. Tony Luke's. I got to put that on the docket. You know what I mean? I've been in cold weather before, Book. Yeah. I don't know why you're thinking I've never been in cold weather. I've been in cold weather.
Well, you got that face, you know what I mean? That just, as soon as the cold hits you, you just turn red,
Well, I do will tell you this. It's something about my people. When it's cold out, we turn red. When it's hot out, we turn red. You know what I mean? If it's room temperature, we'll get a little red. You know what I mean? Or maybe that's just me. But either way, yeah, I appreciate the heads up. Look, one more thing on this CM Punk stuff, and then we'll move on to some WrestleMania talk. Stephen Whitney asked, does AEW need a new owner after the CM Punk interview? Well, I wouldn't go that far.
No, heck no, I don't think that. You know what? I really just think Tony Khan needs some help. I just think he needs to open his, open the line of communication to those guys that could really, really help him, because he got some guys over there, the Arn Andersons of the world that I really would think could add some really, really good input. If he would just let him. The thing is, I remember working in TNA and Vince Russo was running the show. He was doing, the booker, the agent. The booker, I guess, whatever you want to call him, guy in charge. And he didn't want any help from any of the wrestlers. I remember he didn't want any help from the wrestlers. He just wanted to be able to go out and create and do it. And I just think I don't know. I can only imagine how reality of wrestling would look if I was trying to create and make all the decisions for everybody's character.
Yeah.
I just don't think, just like, for instance, you and I was just talking just a few days ago in Vegas. And you came up with an idea, and I I like the idea. Some parts of it I didn't like, but I know if you come up with a good enough idea, I could oversee it and go, if it's a good idea or a bad idea. And if it's a good idea, we're going to run with it. No doubt.
Sure.
We're not going to even think about it. If anybody in our booking committee come up with it, that's what a booking committee is about. Guys coming up with ideas, coming up with storylines, and try. I just don't think one person can do all of that work. I just don't. And I think Tony Khan should just be more open to, letting someone help him, with that company more than anything. And the thing is, I don't know if that's just something that he feel like he has to do because it's something that he's been wanting to do forever. But being a booker is not the easiest job in the world. It really is.
Well, no, and to what you're
as well as not just that, booking 4 shows.
Yeah, that too. Well, and the thing is, like, booking what I think should happen in an ideal world. Now, WWE's different. They have, writers' rooms and a lot of infrastructure already in place. But the way to do it, in my opinion, what do I know, but is the boss has so many things that they have to worry about. And you know this from reality wrestling. You got to think about 1,000,001 things on show day. You got to think about travel. You got to think about hotels. You got to think about meet and greets. You got to think about fans. You got to think about lighting and equipment. I mean, there's so many, like I could go on and on and on and on with everything that Booker has to do on a show day, right? But prior to that, to help relieve some of that stress is you have people who say, hey, Book, here's some ideas we have, and then you filter through, this is good, this isn't good. Oh, I like this, but it's not quite there. What if we do this? And then boom, we have it done, as opposed to you just sitting there worried about all the stuff that you got to worry about, plus putting a card together, plus, right? You know what I mean? What I'm saying? Like, Tony needs somebody who's like, hey, we're bringing you ideas for the show. Either scratch what you don't like, keep what you like. We'll work on it together. That way we can take some off of your plate. It's not a job for one person. It's barely a job for 3 people, but you need help.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, to write a really, really good show, I can only imagine in Hollywood, any good sitcom, I can only imagine if one person was trying to come up with all of those ideas, just like say for instance, Living Color. You think, you could come up with stuff for Jim Carrey? Yeah. You think you can write his stuff? No, you can't write it. You gotta let him come up with the idea, give it to you, and then you say, okay, this is what we're gonna do. That's the way.
I like that. Let's do that. What if we did that? And a lot of times you need to bounce ideas off of people, because I know there have been times to where I've come to you with an idea thinking it's the greatest idea I've ever had in my life. And I pitch it and I'm sold on it. And then you're looking at me like I got like 8 heads and not making any sense. And you're like, why would we do that? And then I go, oh yeah, I don't know. Why would we do that? And so sometimes you don't have the best ideas, even though you think they're great. Now, there have been times I've come to you and I go, hey, what do you think of this? And then your eyes light up and you're like, oh, that's great. And then what if we do this, this, and this? And then we're off to the races. So I don't think the AEW needs a new owner, but I think that, you definitely need to have some more structure there to help you take some of the stress off running a show by yourself. We have some WrestleMania predictions before we get to them.
Predictions?
Zamganda, we have predictions. Zamganda Chonko says, Book, top 3 matches from the 80s. Let's start there. Do you have 3 matches that come to you from the 80s? I mean, I think that the trilogy with Flair and Steamboat comes to mind. WrestleMania 3, Steamboat and Savage comes to mind.
Man, I'm not a big, guy that look back on matches or anything like that. No, not that I didn't like, watching wrestling back then, but I watched so much of it, especially in the 80s. The 80s was the, NWA time for me and Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, the 4 Horsemen. Man, that was a hell of a time. And as far as, the matches, that's the part of the business that, for the fans that, get off into watching the matches, more power to them. But for me, I remember the excitement I got from, just the NWA coming on, just the promo package, that came on, watching Ric Flair and those guys come out there and do their thing. It was as real as it possibly could be to me. And that's what I remember about the 80s, as far as wrestling goes. Paul Bosch, lost his territory at that time. So we didn't watch a lot of Houston wrestling in the 80s, but NWA, which moved into, WCW, great time in wrestling.
Now, this is from the second part of that question. After Mello, Tiff, and Braun leave post Stand and Deliver, who do you think of the cornerstones of NXT will be? No bread, no water. So I think Tiffany's already gone from NXT, but he's talking about Mello and Braun Breaker. Maybe he meant Trick. But after Mello and Braun Breaker leave, who are the new cornerstones of NXT?
Well, I think the cornerstone right now is, Ilya Dragunov. Even though Trick and Mello is doing their thing, I mean, the guy that's really, really breaking it, the guy that's really, really going out there and delivering on a every time he show up is Ilya Dragunov. I don't expect Ilya to be there too much longer as well, just because he's such a great worker. He's such a really, really talented dude. Who's going to be that next guy to hold that mantle? Man, that's really, really hard to say. It's really, really hard to say. I don't know who's going to step up. That's the question. Who's going to step up? I don't know.
I love Obafemi right now.
Josh Briggs right now, of course, is looking to come up, but is he going to be the guy? I don't know. Obafemi right now, he's somewhat the guy, but how long he's going to, I don't know. That's a hard question.
And the thing is,
think, Brad, you see anybody?
We might not have seen the person who it is yet, because there's so many people down there in NXT that we haven't. I mean, you tell me all the time that we haven't even seen on television yet. The next great we might not even know who they are yet. You know what I mean? That's what's cool about NXT.
I'm really trying to think hard on who that next guy is going to be, man.
I like Oba.
I don't know. We got to think about that. We got to take a break. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Man, every time I've gotten so many updates. I'm gonna be busy as hell for WrestleMania.
You got more work?
It's got more work dropped on me, man. I was totally thinking about trying to get up out of there early, maybe Sunday, and get back home and catch it on the app. You know what I mean? Catch the second half of WrestleMania on the app, because it's nice and warm and nice and cozy at the house. But no, that ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna be down there till Monday, and I'll get back home one day and boom, get ready to do it all over again, man. Because NXT don't stop, man.
It never stops, man. You can never stop it.
Never stop.
NXT.
Never stops.
That's it. Hey, look, it could be worse, right? Could be worse. You know what I mean?
I love it.
You got to.
I love it.
We have a couple super chats coming in, talking about WrestleMania predictions. The 2-night extravaganza streams on Peacock this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Booker and I will both be there in Philadelphia this week. So if you're going to be in the Philly area, holler. But you want to know a couple of these predictions here, BT?
Predictions?
People have predictions.
Yeah, prediction. That's the old Club of Lang.
Prediction. Yeah. Pain. There you go.
Prediction. All right, yeah.
Cali Toenail says, Cody says if he loses, he might as well go to commentary. My prediction is Cody wins with the help of his mom's bear spray. His mom's bear spray? What is that? Hairspray? Bear spray? Plus, I got some money on him. Now, here's the thing I wanted to ask you about this match. Cody says if he doesn't win, he's pretty much done, because he who knows what he can do after this. And then Roman says if he loses the title to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40, he quits. That's what he said. He said he's done. I'm finished. What do you think? Who has to walk out of WrestleMania with the championship? I know you don't like booking the show. But do you think it's
Hey,
Cody
man,
or bust
Cody
here?
might be backing himself. Cody might be backing himself into a corner, man. He might be, moving into commentary. I'm not sure, but I don't know, man. I think Cody is being realistic as far as, man, if I don't do it this time, it may never happen for me. How long are you going to spin your wheels, trying to, make that happen? I know it's something that is near and dear to his heart just because of, the significance of Dusty Rhodes and whatnot. But, I don't know about, I'm going to say this here. Cody ain't going to retire. He ain't going to go do commentary. Even if he was to lose this match, Cody's going to be in it for the long haul. If Cody doesn't win it this time, he's going to stick around and hopefully win it the next time. If you don't win it at WrestleMania, it might be at SummerSlam or whatever. But I don't see Cody Rhodes walking away from this business until the dream is complete.
Yeah, I agree with you. You got to finish the story one kind of way. Now, here's the interesting thing to say, though. These are according to 411mania.com, these are the odds for WrestleMania, okay? So in that match, as we talk about them, I'll read the odds. In that match, Cody Rhodes is the favorite at -400. Roman Reigns +250 is how they have it on these odds. Now, these odds are according to 411mania.com. They came from Bet Online, which they bet on wrestling, which I still think is a little wild to do. But they bet on wrestling, and Cody Rhodes is the favorite to win that match. Now, Cali Toenail also came with this one book. Seth loses his belt to Drew. Mommy and Becky as a disqualification because Nia Jax ain't playing. She's getting her spot. Yeet, no yeet, yeet. And Awesome Truth takes it. Okay, well, let's take that one at a time. Do you think Seth drops the strap to Drew McIntyre? Do you think that's a good bet? Because the betting lines have Drew as the favorite, -650 +375. Maybe just give me your overall thoughts on the match as opposed to picking a winner. I don't want you to influencing Vegas's bets at all.
Yeah. I like the matchup. I like what Seth has been doing lately, but I like what Drew has been doing even more. We talk about, Drew's level has definitely stepped up. He's a guy that's a major player now. You can put the title on him, and I don't think we'll miss a beat if we put the title on Drew McIntyre. So, yeah, for me, it's going to be a good match. But I'm going to tell you right now, I wouldn't be surprised if Drew McIntyre walked away champion.
Well, he's the favorite. He's the favorite right there. Now, what do you think about Mommy, a.k.a. Rhea Ripley, and Becky Lynch? He's saying no disqualifications where it goes to. Will the man reign again and end the year title run of Rhea Ripley? Or does Rhea Ripley, beat big-time Bex at the biggest show of the year? The betting odds have that one at Rhea Ripley as the favorite, -500. Becky Lynch, the underdog, +300.
Oh, yeah. I see that. I see that. Right now, Rhea Ripley, she's hot, man. She's hot. They got the rocket on her right now, and I don't see Rhea losing anytime soon. She could be that champion that, rolls like like this Roman Reigns run that he's had, just because she looks so dominant and she looks like, the part. She fits the part. She plays the part. So I don't see anybody beating Rhea Ripley for quite some time.
Yeah, I got to go Rhea too. I mean, just for what I think it could set up down the road. There's a lot of potential opponents it could set up down the road that would be matches that we would want to see, whether that be Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley one day for the title. I would really like to see that as well. Maybe Jade, people who match up with her from a physical standpoint.
I think people really want to see Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair as well. One more time.
Yeah, I mean, last year,
especially after Rhea has gotten so much more mature, gotten so many more reps under her belt. I think that match will look a whole lot better second time around.
Yeah, I mean, their match at Mania, definitely was one for the books. Now, the last thing he said there, yeet or no yeet, he's going yeet. That's Jimmy and Jay. You actually were spent some time with Jey Uso at the Reality Wrestling School. They put that out on social media. WWE is they, pronouns pal. What do you think of Yeet versus no Yeet, of Jimmy versus Jey Uso overall? The odds makers have Jey as the favorite at plus 250, Jimmy as the underdog at plus 170, but it's pretty close either way you look at it.
Oh man, I'm happy to see both of those guys in this space. You know what I mean? It's amazing, you know, watching those guys. Seemed like just yesterday at Reality Wrestling with the camouflage on and whatnot, long hair, you know, seemed just like yesterday. And now they're at WrestleMania going, you know, one-on-one. That's a major, it's a major feat. It really is. High marks for both of those guys getting to that point, this point, as well as, you know, Jey, you know, of course, that's my boy, you know what I mean? But Jimmy, that's my boy as well. And for Jimmy to have gone through trial and tribulation and made it to this point, that's why I'm so proud of him more than anything. Proving that, you know, he got the goods and he got what it takes to work at that level. That's why I'm so proud of him. But to see both of these guys go in and go one-on-one, of course, I'm kind of, you know, torn between the two. But this is family business, man. And you're not going to fight anybody harder than you fight your family. So that match right there, guys, that's going to be one for the ages. Y'all better get ready because the Usos going to tear the house down.
Let's go to our next one because I think we have one more segment after this. I believe so. So Cali Tonio says, it's not official, but I see Bianca, Naomi, and Jade dominating Damage Control. Also, Bayley getting her strap back, LA Knight going over AJ Styles. So he's giving us all his predictions. So do you think Bianca, Naomi, and Jade will win against Damage Control? Right now, they're minus 2,000 favorite to win. This is, I think.
Yeah, they're winning. They're winning.
This is the biggest odd. They're the heaviest favorite on the entire card.
Yeah. I'm betting that team right there. I'm not going to go with Damage Control on this one. No, not at all.
Yeah, Bianca, Jade, and Naomi.
You got three ladies in there that can hold their own in any situation. You know, Naomi's back. You know, she's doing a hell of a job. Of course, you know, Jade Cargill is you know, one of a kind. She truly is one of a kind. And Bianca Belair, I'm gonna tell you right now, Bianca Belair, she could go toe-to-toe with anybody. She could stand toe-to-toe with anybody in the business, including Jade Cargill. So that's going to be real good. I mean, just looking at the photo, the poster with Jade.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And
Bianca, Naomi.
And Bianca Belair. I tell you, man, that's a sight to see. That's a heavyweight championship match. That's a main event anywhere in the world. I can't wait to see that one when it finally go down. I'm serious.
Yeah, they're going to get there. But we do have to take a break.
We got to take a break. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. It's hard being Mr. Mom, okay? I just want to let you know. It's hard. It's hard being Mr. Mom, man, but we just got to keep it going. We got to keep to work. Sometimes you just want to cry.
Yeah.
You know, when you miss the mom. You just want to cry. You know, but I'm going to hold it together. I just got a few more hours and I got to get up out of here, head to WrestleMania, get this weekend done. WrestleMania. But yeah, we got any more questions. I say what?
No, we have more here.
Let's keep rolling, man.
So Kenny Tonell was also talking about LA Knight and AJ Styles. Let's talk about that match up just in general. What are your thoughts when you hear AJ Styles versus LA Knight? Yeah.
Give us some Roni, bro.
I don't know what I feel when I hear about a match like that, man, because I know we can see a hell of a match. I know that. I know the match I'm not talking about if the match is going to be good or not. I'm just thinking about LA Knight right now. I'm wondering where are we going with LA Knight? You know, because LA Knight, you know, last year at this time, man, he was super uber hot. You know what I mean? I don't think he's cooled off that much. I think the fans are still, you know, with LA Knight, but going against someone like AJ Styles. You know what I mean? That's a tough matchup. That's a tough matchup for LA Knight because AJ is truly that good. But one thing about it, I don't think it's going to be a bad match or anything like that. It could be, it definitely could be a highlight moment. It really could because AJ Styles, he's a general. He's a guy that could go out there and work with anybody in the ring. And I really think LA Knight, I don't think he gets enough credit for how good of a wrestler he is. He doesn't do anything fancy or over the top or anything like that. But as far as having all of the fundamentals of a guy that can go out there and perform at a high level and make the fans feel, he does that very, very well. So I want to see how that match play out myself.
Yeah, and then as far as AJ's yoked nowadays, and he's really looking for a big comeback after having some time off on the shelf, and he came back and he had that. They were together in the Royal Rumble with that Fatal 4-Way. But I'm excited for this because AJ has been a guy at WrestleMania who you give him something that you're like, oh, AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon, like, is that going to be that great? And then it's like the best match on the card. He's got that potential to give you the best match of the night. So I'm going to look forward to that. We have a few more Super Chats to get through before we wrap things up today. So our next one comes from Stephen Whitley, and we kind of talked about this already. Cody versus Roman, who wins and why this weekend? We talked about Cody and Roman. Let's talk about, though, Roman and Rock versus Cody and Seth. Is there a world where The Rock and Roman don't walk out victorious in that match? I just feel like it's almost a foregone conclusion in my mind. They got to win. They got to do it.
I don't know. I'm not booking the match. I'm not booking the show.
I know you don't book the show.
I just want to. I just want to see the match. The Rock has brought something very, very unique back to the business. He really has. I don't think it's been this cool in quite some time. All right. It's going to be a spectacle just because The Rock is going to be making that walk to the ring. People are going to want to see that. People are going to want to see, how Rock and Roman going to work together. Are they going to be able to work together? Is the final boss going to, show his true colors? There's a whole lot going on, a lot of dynamics going on with that match. So me personally, I'm gonna sit back and watch and see how it play out. Am I pulling for Cody Rhodes to complete the story? Yes, I am.
Let me ask you this before we move from this. The Rock, you mentioned him. You said The Rock has brought something back to the business and made the business cool again. What do you feel like The Rock has brought back to the business?
Just those acting chops, man. The intensity of going out there and playing it all the way out. Just like the just the little mannerisms. Just like when he was talking about Cody's mom, and then right there at the end, he sang her a little song. Very, very slight, very, very, it's like the wind, you can feel it, but you can't touch it, but you know it's there. One of those type of things. And I go, man, this is good. This is good stuff. The beat downs, really bringing the intensity and trying to make that part as real as it possibly can be from an acting perspective. And I think that's what The Rock has brought back to WWE more than anything. And hopefully, guys like Drew McIntyre can piggyback. Guys like Seth Rollins can piggyback off of having a guy on the card that's willing to push the envelope all the way to the edge just to make people feel a certain way. And I think that's what The Rock has brought to WWE.
And then do you think The Rock has a cool factor about him? You were saying he's cool.
Oh, yes. Men want to be The Rock. You wouldn't want to be The Rock?
Oh, yeah.
Doing what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think every man in America who's watching the WWE right now, every man, not little boys, every man in America can want to be what The Rock is right now on WWE TV. That's why it's cool again. That's why I say it's not, that, thing that kids are just off into. The kids can watch it, but you might want to put him to bed after 9:45. You know what I'm saying? Because The Rock might say something. It's one of those type of things, man. And for me, I like that feel. I love it.
Makes you buy in. It's believable, right? And authentic. Yeah.
And it's wrestling. And that's the beauty of really, really good professional wrestlers. You know what I mean? They know exactly what they're doing, and they know exactly how to make you feel a certain way. It's just like, they're again going to Broadway and watching Phantom of the Opera, Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet. Those actors make you feel a certain way when you leave that theater. You might go to New York City and go see that play on Broadway every year until you're 80 years old. You know what I mean? Because it made you feel a certain way. That's like me going to Vegas and going to Cirque du Soleil, watching I feel the same way every time I watch it. It makes me feel. When I go see Maze and Frankie Beverly tour getting ready to wrap up, I'll be heading out here next month to go see them in Los Angeles, California, baby. Wrap up their careers. But every time I see Maze and Frankie Beverly, I feel the same way every single time I watch them do their show. So I think that's what it is more than anything with The Rock.
Let's see. We have a couple more here I want to make sure that we get to. This is from SoFly B More. SoFly B More says, Book, I'm a longtime fan of yours. Who is your early favorite in the tag team ladder match at WrestleMania? Just to make sure I have all the... Where is the tag team ladder match? So you have... Where is the tag team ladder match? It's not on my run sheet here. Let me see if I can pull it up. Here we go. Tag team ladder match is the Judgment Day, who are the champs, DIY, the Awesome Truth, which is Miz and R-Truth, the New Day, A-Town Down Under, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, or the New Catch Republic, which is Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. Do you have any favorites in there? Anybody you would... Let's not say favorites, but is there anybody you're pulling for?
Awesome Truth.
Yeah.
I'll be pulling for them just because, I want to see, R-Truth with another title around his waist. Him and the Miz, they're that, Booker T and Goldust kind of like, dynamic. Two guys you never thought would gel as good as they do. And I think the Miz, R-Truth gel actually pretty good together. So I think that's the team I'll be pulling for in that matchup.
Well, I'm right there with you. I love that they're back together. We have a couple more minutes, so let's try to get through these. Stephen Whitley says, do UEC Hunter getting involved in Cody versus Roman? I say no to that. Yeah. That's going to be a big no for me. I think
if the betting odds, we can win some money on that if we had some betting odds on that one, because I bet no on that one. Seriously.
I will say this. I think there might be two other people who we see in that main event, but I'm just gonna leave it at that. Two legends are gonna show their face. Maybe more.
I think we might see somebody. I think we might see somebody too, but I'm out.
Mum's the word there. This is from Jackalope Music. Queen Aminata is an up-and-coming AEW talent. Can we get some royal advice from King Booker for Her Majesty?
No, I've seen her, man.
She did a couple of the lady shows
before she was. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what I was just going to say. Her name has gotten there well before she did. She got a chance to do a couple of ladies' night out shows with reality wrestling. I think she's talent. I think if put in the right situation, she could grow. And that's the thing. It's hard for me to really, weigh in on it because she's coming into AEW and I've noticed, every time, a new female come into AEW, they get a spotlight on them for a second and then that spotlight goes away. It's just like when Ruby Soho came over to AEW. It was so much hype about Ruby Soho, man. I mean, it was like major hype, man. Like, man, this is it. And we saw her for a minute and boom, she was gone. So for me, I hope they actually, build her and bring her up right. And hopefully she could be the next big thing. Almost like Jade Cargill when she was in AEW. She was there, but she really wasn't there. She didn't really compete with any of the girls. They had her off on her own wing, and I was wondering what was the psychology? What was the plan, as far as Jade Cargill when she was there? I just didn't understand it. So hopefully the Queen actually come out smelling like a rose like the King did when he was running.
All right, a couple more. I know we're going over time, but the Speezy 99. Look at his eyes, Vic. Look at his eyes. Big Soul says, or BIG Soul says, what would a final boss Booker T look like?
Final boss Booker T look like a leather down, man. All leather, sunglasses with them Bruno Magli's on and pair, you know.
The isotoners.
Isotoners, man.
What are you, OJ?
What?
What the hell is wrong with you?
I'm just saying, man, I like Bruno Magli's.
You wouldn't wear those ugly ass shoes.
You just got to have the right ensemble, man. That's all it is.
Bruno Magli's with the isotoners. Oh my God, last one. The credit card maestro says, hey, Book, do you have any meet and greets this week in Philly?
Yeah, I'm going to be at WrestleCon on Friday from 9 a.m. to 11:30 or something like that. I got some more work I got to do, and then I got another one on Friday from 12:30 to 1:30 or something like that. I don't know where it's at, but I'll make sure once I find it out, I'll make sure I send a tweet out and let you guys know exactly where the 5 time's going to be at. All
right, well, that does it for our Super Chats. We're WrestleMania bound now, BT.
Oh, man, we got to get up out of here, man, because my daughter just burnt up the rice, and I got to go make some more. But I want to thank everybody for sticking around, stepping inside the Hall of Fame, getting champagne, wishes, caviar, dreams, Brad, as always, for the heavy lifter, man. I'm on my way to WrestleMania. Peace. We love you. We out.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture, along with humor and celebrity interviews, your earbuds are enjoying The Rich Eisen Show.
Kevin Millar, we're all paying rent in Ohtani's world, right?
And the Dodgers world, game is healthy, game is good. And, I get asked a lot, is that good for baseball? Yeah, it's good for baseball. This is definitely the team to beat, because that should be your next question, Richie, is this World Series a bust for the Dodgers and Dave Roberts?
Hell yeah.
Search for The Rich Eisen Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.